Hey everyone, Captain Amazing here, and I'm guest starred with Jack1Best, and we're doing a new segment called In Between Two Reviews. We're gonna sit here and review each other's accounts, have a little chat. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So Jack, did you start reviewing, or I'm sorry, why did you start streaming, and how long have you been doing it for?
Sure. So I started streaming at the request of my guild members, specifically Grand Arena counters. Grand Arena Territory. So I'm a guild leader for those that don't know, and I always had members asking me, "What are your counters for?" Back then, it was what's the counters for Jedi Knight Revan, Darth Revan, maybe even Streamliner Kylo Ren and Rey, and it was always like, "How do I beat this team?" And I would be like, "Here's what you do," and I'd type out this massive text block. And it was just not really that helpful. It's hard to follow. So then I started being like, okay, well, I'll show you in Discord. So I'd hop in Discord and I would screen share and I'd show the battles. But the problem is everyone's got schedules. So then I started, okay, well, I'm going to do my Grand Arenas. I'll just stream them on YouTube so you guys can get the VODs and watch them later. And then slowly, I've got more into, okay, well, now I can not just do this for my guild, but for the community as a whole to help test and share counters and just have fun playing Grand Arena. So that's why I do this.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because the first time. I don't remember if I messaged you or you messaged me, but I think you messaged me.
I think so.
Yeah, and then like we had a history, a chat history, because I had applied to your guild a long time ago. Yeah, and it didn't work out. It was before I streamed. So if I applied to your guild, it means you have a competitive good guild. So good job on that.
We were started. So I had been an officer for a really long time, but I started the guild September of 2021, and it was I had 18 members that I had taken from a previous guild, and we were like 140 mil. This is like right CPIT time, so I left my old guild because they wouldn't let us do CPIT via mercs. It was like we're not doing it, and the competitive branch of us were like, no, we need to be getting these rewards. This is not that much effort. So I went and I started my guild, and we started 160 mil. We're now 460 mil, and enjoying the nice competitive lifestyle. TW's kind of tough right now, Datacron wise, but we're enjoying no required farms or anything. We're just playing how we want to play and winning when we can. So
yeah, because your guild is like right there with me. So maybe one day we'll face because mine's like 470. Well,
so it is really close. Yeah,
they have a fantastic TW. So there's something on Hotbot that kind of like ranks all the guilds for TW. Okay. Since it's come out or something.
One point, we were on the top like 15 of that list.
Yeah, so
we had like a 50 something, 60 something win streak at one point.
So yeah, we're tied for first. I don't know. I don't know for our bracket or something. I don't know how it like brackets out or whatever. But we're tied for first because it's like 144 wins, and I think we have 6 losses or something.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So
ours is like 125 wins and like 19 or 20 losses or something like that.
Yeah,
which is still good, but it's not single digit losses. So
yeah, well, it was like the losses that we have are just severe, like extreme differences, and a lot of times it's I don't want to say they're sandbaggers because a lot of guilds just have TW
don't require everyone to join.
Yeah, so
winds up creating unfair matchups even by accident sometimes.
Yeah, so I don't like to say they're sandbaggers, but my guild was just like pitchforks and like sandbaggers. You know?
Yeah, that's how some of my guys get. I tried to listen. They could have just had a lot of people out. We do our best no matter what, but it's tough sometimes.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm sure it probably, because it doesn't make sense to me to like purposely force people to not join TW who want to. And a lot of times what I've seen and what most people do is they're just like, look, like forcing everyone to play, we lose. So we're just going to make it optional. And then that way, a lot of players who just like don't care about TW don't have to play. And it's kind of like a win-win. So.
Yeah, we do required, but for the longest time, that was because we needed to get to those reward brackets.
Yeah, the 380.
Now it's like, okay, well, do we really need to do that anymore? Because we definitely have some players that don't try as hard in TW as others, and I work with them to make sure they get a bunch of stuff set on defense so that other people can go more offensive, but it's a lot of micromanaging that could be solved by saying, hey, you don't have to play unless you've got a bunch of free time this weekend. So it's an interesting predicament for sure.
Yeah, because our guild, it is mandatory, but if you're busy, then you can just let them know, like, hey, I'm busy, I can't join or whatever, and that's perfectly fine.
Right.
But it is like they are they're on it. They're like, hey, get your attacks in, attack, because you have to, like, and that's just the name of the game for TW. With where we are in the
A lot of
game,
it's just speed, you know.
yeah, it's like we'll face like all like just crazy walls, and it's like, okay, only we may only have like 2 counters for this team,
Right.
so everyone needs to do their attacks,
Yeah,
and then
you need like 30, 40 people to get in and do their attacks. Otherwise, you're gonna be sitting on that wall for 6 hours, and you want to be able to use the ships with enough time for everyone to use their fleets. Like, you need to keep things moving at a brisk pace. Otherwise, you're gonna stall out and get really far behind.
yeah, but enough about TW, because a lot of people hate TW. Like, no,
I guess rework soon. I do.
I don't, I like it. I don't mind it. I do agree that because especially me, like I live in Japan. I can't, I miss the first few hours because it starts at like 2 or 3 in the morning for me, which means it ends at 2 or 3 in the morning. So I'm in the middle in that like lull. So a lot of times I'm just like, we're stuck on a wall, and I'm like, all right, guys, I'm going to use all my GLs and I'm going to sleep. And then I'll wake up, and then I'll just see like they burned it to the ground, and they, but I missed all the excitement, when they're all like,
Right. Yeah.
getting
Those
it
last
done.
couple hours of TW were like the most intense most of the time, especially if it's close.
Yeah, there was one time where we won by, I think it was 8 banners. It was 8 banners that we won by, and they had full cleared us, and they were like legit, like, no one's attacking. We're gonna tell you for like 2 or 3 zones. They like chose like, okay, you're gonna attack like this guy. Okay, you're with this team, this guy. Like, and they got it done. They won by 8 banners. It was nuts, and we were down. We were down by like a bunch of banners, like in the efficiency, and they like slowly climbed it up and got it done. That was like 2 or 3 TWs ago. But I just like woke up and I was like, oh wow, because I went to bed.
Discord messages this morning.
Yeah, I went to bed and I was like, oh, we lost. No big deal. It's not that big deal for me. So I was like, okay, we lost. I went to bed and I woke up and I was like, what are these rewards? Like, why am I getting first place rewards? And I saw we won by 8, and I was like, wow, these guys are cracked out. All right, so let's go ahead and start doing the reviews. So what we're going to do here is Jack's going to review me first. So we didn't really talk about anything. He's just kind of going in blind, except for we're kind of familiar with each other, right? So go ahead and take it away.
I'm not incredibly familiar with yours. So I saw caught a GAC stream or two, but I've not gone through it in detail at all. So I'm interested to see what you're missing. So what are you currently working on, since we're able to easily get some context with you right here?
So I just finished JMK, and I'm working on the Quadme team. So I'm getting Quadme up and running, and I'm farming the because signal data is my bottleneck. So I'm farming right now.
That's mine too. Yeah.
Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan. So I have everything already saved for them to get up to relics. I'm just literally just farming their shards, and then I'll finish taking them both to R9, and Quadme to R7 is my current plan.
So I'm lucky to have a great roster I can compare to here. So my alt account is 8.9 million. So it's like right here at that same level. So I'm able to kind of look and compare and contrast a couple things. So things you've got that my alt doesn't have, I don't see Leia, right? But you've got Captain Rex. So you've got Captain Rex. I guess you're just missing the actual like Leia only requirements, right? Yeah, Drogon and probably Nisa, right?
Yeah. So.
Okay, so you don't have Leia and you don't have Lord Vader.
Nope.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And C.
2, 5, and one more. Yeah, C. Okay. Okay. Do you have all the GL ships? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, ships are a big focus. Relic 8 Piet, but it's not, it's not the end of the world, really.
Well,
Sorry, what?
Yeah, that Relic 9 Piet was a relic of an age that I really didn't play in.
Yeah.
So you probably did yours when the Executor was the meta?
We did it a few months ago.
Oh, disgusting.
I've got the relic material. All my GLs are already relic 8 and everything. My main account, is almost 12 million. So at that point, it's a worthwhile thing to do just for the triple attacker on defense.
No, I got you.
But yeah, so the biggest things that like just comparing and contrasting here, obviously you've come up in a different time of the game than my alt, but like my alt just got Lord Vader, so I've got all that you've got here plus Lord Vader and C. So I don't have Leia, but I'm actually smaller GP. So I'm curious to where you've invested. I see the Captain Rex, which is a lovely investment. Obviously, that's a great one. And yeah, so my alt account's also for the most part free to play. So I don't have like great teams like Phoenix. I don't have. Let's see here. So I didn't get the Ewok LSB. Not that that's like an S tier LSB, but those are great for like TB stuff for your guild. If you take any of them up higher. I would say the biggest question mark I had, like when I skimmed it, was actually your 501st.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. So did you buy the gas LSB? Is this where this has come from?
Yeah, I bought the gas bundle.
I gotcha. So it was an unexpected unlock because that's crazy. Gas is easily my favorite my favorite character in the game.
So
I know you have a history with Gas that you haven't discussed well with me in earshot yet, but I love him so much.
No, I don't know. I don't want to like crush your dreams right away. You're a guest here,
Okay.
but I just think Gas is incredibly mid. Okay. And I don't hate him. I don't think he's bad. I think his team is solid. Like the 501st is good. Right now they have relevance with taking out Quadmate teams. So they have relevance, but without Quadmate before, like where was their home? Like on defense,
beating Ray and Malgus. That was my go-to most of the time.
Yeah, but on defense they
definitely not a defensive.
There you'd have to take Rex, Captain Rex, to make them not lose, and then you lose Phoenix, which is a good Reva counter right now. And then you on offense, like the amount of investment that you would have to put to get Gas and get his 501st and unlock him and everything, that's pretty much a GL. I don't have all the GLs. I don't have Jedi Knight, Cal Kestis. I don't have Leia. I don't have, there's all these things.
Right. Now, I would say in your spot here where you've actually already got him, it's probably worth it. But yes, like going from like not having any of the gas requirements and gearing up the Padme team, gearing up the droids, like, yeah, you're probably right.
Well, once you're done with your review, I'll kind of like touch on what my thought process is on that. Okay. So we'll put a pin on that one. Gas. Okay. It's crap. Gear 1 level 1. I got it.
I feel that. My alt account had Gear 12 Treya until 2 weeks ago. I finally reliked my Treya. She works great at low gear. I did it because I was tired of not being able to ever use them for Reva if I needed them for Reva. You do have to relic Splash though, which is probably the most important one anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's a great roster. First off, I'm like zeroing in on like the most nitpicky things because you're a content creator, right?
It's okay.
We get looked at with a fine tooth comb. So
the bottom of my roster has some things that would absolutely shock people.
Troopers, I think, is a perfectly fine thing to have kind of skipped for now.
I didn't skip them.
I think they've lost a lot. Well, I mean,
they're fully
like relics.
They're fully functional, believe it or not. Like I can do.
Right, yeah, I mean, these guys don't need Gear 13. Like you've got the fastest guy for the speed, and you've got the most damaging one, and that's kind of it. So
yeah, because they can do everything that a relic troopers can do. I can do with those gear levels.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's a reasonable place to stop with them. I just unfortunately troopers have kind of lost like some relevance, but I think this makes it a little. It's better bang for your buck to do this because you're still, like you said, you're going to beat the same stuff. Like you're going to walk over a Night Sister team or an Ewok team or anything where it's just you go first, you take infinite turns, you win. Like you'll still walk over those same things. Can you do like Jabba cleanups with them? I'm curious. I haven't tried that.
I haven't needed to, but maybe probably. I clean up
Night Sisters against Jabba a lot, and so sometimes I wind up with a solo Jabba at the end. So.
Yeah, I don't have my Marin up and running to do that, so maybe.
Yeah, I can see that, but that's you don't have Cal, so that's fine.
Yeah, I could see not having Datacrons would hurt that, but usually they clean up Lord Vader, so probably.
Oh, well, then it could probably work. With Iden, I guess, right? Iden or Shock T1.
What, like the
with the 5th in Lord Vader versus Lord Vader?
Oh, just any cleanser. There's tons of cleansers. Yeah. Like just
I like Iden a lot for the healing immunity, personally, but
honestly, she's usually on defense, so I don't have her. So you usually
flexibility, yeah.
Yeah, not Radis. But who's the other fish boy?
Akbar.
Yeah, Akbar. There you go. Yeah, Akbar works. Honestly, like,
Who do you use as your fifth in your Star Killer team right now? I'm curious. Do you just like plug in JTR's Gabray?
yep, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. Visas is very like mid, maybe even less than mid. So I was just kind of curious. The armors, yeah, that's a reasonable thing to have her low gear until you get like Sith Eternal. Not really a ton of use outside of that. I think Afra is hot take, the worst legendary in the game at the moment.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Legendary that's needed at like Relic 5 to get.
Yeah.
I've created a bit of a firestorm in my chat the times I've said that.
Really? Not at all. Like because I'm
like at least in like the Kyber 1, Kyber 2 world where every team has a Datacron on it pretty much. Like Afra really struggles as a glass cannon team to penetrate those teams.
So I agree with you so wholeheartely that I feel now it's like, have you ever seen like the Step Brothers where they like, are we best friends right now? like that's how I feel about Afra. She will be my last legendary I will farm, and because she's
and the requirements are awful, frankly. I mean, not awful,
well,
like,
Hondo's okay. Yeah, Hondo's okay, but she's isolated. She doesn't have any farming synergy with anyone, and then she's inconsistent. Like she is a really good Jabba cleanup, so that would be like if
cleanup for Jabba is fantastic.
Yeah, so if I had if I ever got to the point where I was using Night Sisters on Jabba, and then I would have I would like Afra as the reliable cleanup personally, because it is really reliable for that. But she's so unreliable, and I think what she's missing is a dark side droid tank. And I know people were like, well, there's you have separatists, but then you know you can somewhat beat the Jabba teams, but you're taking Darth Vader, you're taking B2 and General Grievous.
Darth Vader, I've lost it before too because of like Relic 9%, and all of a sudden now I just can't kill him. You know, it's like Jabba gets to an ult, eats Afra if you get unlucky and you lose. She needs a tank that like prevents other allies from being defeated while they're active.
Yeah, she needs a lifter.
Give you sustain to live. Yeah. Maul being level 1 is interesting to me. I don't blame you. It's a lot of Kyrotech, and you don't have a ton of Mandalorians to spare, but that one hurts my soul a little. But you don't have Vader, so it's kind of whatever.
Believe it or not, I had because I just farmed JMK. I had Cat at Gear 1 level 1 for like 8 months.
Oh wow.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'll talk about it when at the end. I'll talk about it a little.
All right. Well, anything else I see that's like really worth pointing out? I guess Zori not being up a little bit is a bit odd, but it's not. LSBs have made it really difficult for accounts that got them to like really spread Zetas out. There's like in my alt account also is like missing a lot of like critical Zetas because like you would need the Finn Zeta, you would need the Zori Zeta, you would need a Zori Omicron. You probably could use some of these Zetas for like the Ray team too, but like I'm sure that you're pretty stretched on Zetas right now. At least I know my alt is.
I am not swimming in the Zetas. I'm not.
Yeah, and I think the Queen Amidala team is a great thing to be pushing for with the raid right now, as well as the assault battle rewards are fantastic. So I think that's a perfectly great thing. The Bad Batch would be great at some point as another Leviathan counter. I'm not sure what your GAC fleet strategy is. Like I set triple GL fleets, and so then I kind of need Marauder on offense to deal with that.
I bring
anyway.
I put Leviathan, Triple Tacker Executor, and Radis on defense, and I take
Profundity on offense.
Yeah, Chimera, Profundity. Because that was just I can be FU fleets like I can. Yep. Executor may be a 2 or 3 shot. So if the finalizer doesn't work, because it's really can be dicey, right, with Triple Tacker.
With Triple Tacker, yeah.
Yeah, so with Triple Tacker, worst case, I just have to preload it. Like, let's say Finalizer just dies. Like, it just loses, which sometimes it happens. You can preload it, bring in Malevolence, and beat it that way. Yep. So
Finalizer, even if you get, like, smashed, you're almost always still going to kill, like, IG and Xandu Blood.
Yeah.
Or at least IG if it's Triple Attacker. If it's non-Triple Attacker, I've got like a 95% win rate, and if I lose, Boba's dead, Xandu Blood's dead, and Houndstooth's probably dead. And then you got like some really crappy RNG when Boba came in or something, and it's easy to clean up from there.
Yeah, to lose, I have to have
and Trench are level 1.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I am a sad owner of a Relic 5 Trench, and we could talk about that when we get to my roster, but I'll never recover from that one. Malicos makes sense if you don't have syrup. That's perfectly reasonable. But yeah, I mean, in general, it's a great roster. I haven't looked at your mods. I know you focus a lot on mods, so I'm sure that they're quite good.
They're okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a decent cat right there. I am a hot take opinioner on Mara, where I don't think Mara deserves to be above like 310.
You think so?
Because she gets plus 75 from Starkiller, so you're already outrunning everything else. And then in TW, she has an Omni and she gets 100% TM. So I'm like, not that I don't think it's bad to have speed mods, like extra fast mods on her, but I think those mods are like better served on other characters. So that's where I always land on that one. But it's like, yeah, you do want her taking more turns, but you get turn meter gain under Palp. So it's like,
so
I don't know how much you get out of the extra 30 speed on her.
So do you see anyone? So go through my mods. Do you see anyone that you would give her mods to? If you could, because I don't disagree with you, but right now with the attacker cron, like Ray is back on the menu for, so like I'm still using, but the reason why she was so fast and I didn't mind, while you're looking, I'll just tell you why. So the reason why is I was mirroring Starkillers on defense because since Ray could be beat by Starkiller, she was everyone threw their Starkiller on defense because that's probably the best use for him. And then so I was mirroring him, and so having the faster.
And that's a perfectly reasonable reason to do that. If that's what you're mainly using for that makes complete sense. That's like the main use case for having a fast one. I use Grievous with BB-8 against Starkiller on defense.
Yeah,
that's my go-to. I guess I haven't looked. How are your seps?
They're okay.
Oh yeah, you could definitely do that if you'd wanted to. Okay, good to you would need some to maybe get a tenacity here, maybe, but in general, you could probably do it. But anyway, I mean, Starkiller Mirror is going to be way more consistent if your Mara's faster, right? Like, that's going to be the more consistent option. But I mean, you're right. Yeah, there's not a lot of people maybe Queen Amidala could use them if the primaries are right, but I'm assuming you don't have, like, primaries that would match for her easily. Yeah, so you wouldn't want potency and crit damage on her.
Nope, she needs all health.
Just something worth mentioning. I mean, you could swap, this and, like, well, not that. Okay, you could swap this one mod. That's the one mod that you could maybe swap. But in general, I mean, it's a great roster. I haven't looked at your ships a ton, I guess. Let me do that. Yeah, 7's there, 7 there. How's your relics on your Leviathan fleet? I'm curious. Yeah, Relic 6. Relic 7, I think, is what mine's up, but I know single data is the biggest crunch for you, and it definitely is for me as well, so I've got plenty of characters that could be, like my Iden's also only Relic 5, and I would love a Relic 8 Iden, but I would also love a Relic 9 of every character in the game, and we can't always get what we want, so.
It's true.
I feel that for sure. Yeah. Datacrons, that's almost the exact same spot my alt account's in. You got, like, a few level 9s that you can use, and then of the orange set, a lot of bulk level 3s. I'm assuming that's what those are.
Yeah, they're all.
A lot of, like, level 6s of the current set, so.
Yeah, they're all
thick
crons.
Datacrons, unless you want to like choke on whatever you're drinking. It's bad. I do 6 refreshes in Conquest, so it's a lot.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying it's like not good. Like you didn't farm them.
No, I have like an absurd amount of Datacrons. Not a bunch of level 9s because I'm not a whale, but I have a ton of 3s and 6s. I don't know the last time I haven't had a full 30 max inventory of each set.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it's a great roster. So, I mean, unless you have anything that I should have caught that I didn't, I don't do a ton of roster reviews. You're probably the expert in this field, so.
No, well, I'm intimately familiar with my roster, so I will talk about the gas thing because since you don't really know my content, because I haven't been playing for all that long. I think I'm climbing up to like 3 years right now is how long I've been playing the game. In 2 years as a return player. So,
right.
Like my philosophy of farming is everything I farm should give me a return of investment. Like it should give me more resources. Like gas doesn't do that. Lord Vader doesn't do that. There's a lot of farms like Zori doesn't do that. And I may be in Kyber 2 and I could fight accounts like your main. Sometimes like that's usually what the accounts I'm fading.
Yeah, my main actually fell to Kyber 2 in the last round of 3v3, unfortunately. So I'm in the very top skill rating of Kyber 2.
So I'm not quite there because I was there, and then the squish, even though I'm winning, like I'm going 5-4, I'm like getting
It's very
pushed.
frustrating.
Yeah, I'm getting pushed down. So I think in like a month or two, I'll probably get pushed down to Kyber 3 unless something changes with the squish. Just because losing 60 some skill rating is like losing two matches, like
Yeah, you need to be going like 6-3 to even like just equalize out the squish.
Yeah.
And I think I've gone 5-4 2 months in a row now. So
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Like it's pretty frustrating too, because I'm like I think I belong in Kyber too, but
what they need to do is add a division above Kyber with more fleets and more squads.
Yeah.
And let everyone continue to drift upward.
Yeah, but it's super annoying. But that's the reason why I haven't invested in gas, because if you look and see how close I am to, like I have pretty much all the shards farmed for everything to where I can farm anything in the game.
Yeah.
So I would rather farm something that's going to give me a return.
But we know.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I'm pretty close to Afra. I only have Trip 0 at 6 stars. But what I mean all the stars is like that aren't Cantina, pretty much. So I don't have my Bo-Katan Mandalore because I'm farming that right now, and I'm still finishing off the last stars on Gungans because those just came out. But essentially, I could farm anything in the game, any team.
Right.
Realistically, I could go for because I could accelerate those if I wanted to. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think they will require Bo-Katan for Ahsoka?
No.
A lot of speculation on it.
I don't think Bo-Katan. I think Ezra, I think will be a requirement. The Cantina,
I think
Conquest character.
Less likely if they want people to be able to wail on her, since you can't literally just pay straight credit card swipe for Ezra, but Bo will be permanent.
Well, what they want to do is also get you hooked on that Pass Plus. Is what they want to do too, because once you get that taste, you keep coming back for it.
I've never bought it. I bought the $10.
Believe it or not, I buy it not because I like care about Conquest. It makes it that much easier where I can like switch out discs. Like I can play one team use the disc, and I don't think I need it. Like I could absolutely get the box I get without it, but.
What box do you get? Do you?
I just go for I could. I think mathematically right now I could red box. I just choose to get the box below it. Yeah, is because I want to focus on Datacrons, and two, even if you look at my roster, like I have everything, but if I unlock Lucian at Conquest 3 instead of 5, he's gonna stay at Gear 1 7 stars. At 5 months just as easily as 3 months, so I don't see a reason. Yeah, I don't see a reason to accelerate it to get it done, because
I finished this 10 days early.
Yeah, well that's good. So you can farm conquests.
I'll be farming Datacrons for the next 9 days worth of refreshes.
Yeah, so I just feel like as I farm conquests, I don't want to go through all the trouble of trying to get red box when I can't use the conquest character, because the difference of gold box and red box is pretty much the shards. Like that's the big difference.
Super minor. Yeah,
so
it's literally just get them at 5 months or get them at 3 with a minor reward difference. And that's when I talk about conquest, I'm always like 530 box, that's the goal.
Yeah,
everybody, like that is the goal, to get these before you have to buy them out of the stores and the merchants and worry about waiting and proving. Like you get to 530 consistently and you buy it, merchants, you're in good shape.
Yeah,
that's where I'm always at when I talk to people.
The only thing that kind of like annoyed me was Bane. Bane was the only one where I was like, oh my god. I was like, I need to get him.
Waiting an extra 2 months was like an eternity.
Yeah, because before he came out, everyone was like, oh, Sea Lifter, he's gonna lift C. Yeah. I don't have C, so I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, let me just live my life and not care about it. And then all of a sudden he came out and they were like, no, C is the Bane lifter. Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, I need to get him. And so I think I unlocked him at month 4. And he's the only one. Like everyone else, and I like brought him up relic 7 right away. Gave him his 2 Zetas, his 2 Omicrons, and called it a day.
I think I'm actually missing one Omicron. I don't.
Yeah, you should. It's he has 3 Omicrons, 3 Zetas, but you only like there one Zeta is a luxury, and the one Omicron is a luxury. So I
Talking about the special one, right? I think that's
yeah, the one that gives extra stacks of Siphon and Ult.
Yep. Yeah,
So
you have the exact same setup as me. So
yeah, so just luxuries. But yeah, but all in all, like that was it. Like I don't accelerate conquest. I don't. I'm perfectly fine, and I maybe one day when I'm only farming the new things, like when I have all the GLs, all the GL ships, I have all the legendaries, and
that's where I'm at.
yeah, and I'm just waiting for something new to come in. Then I'm like, okay, I will accelerate it and unlock it in red box so that I can get the new things, because that's all I'm waiting on is shards.
All right. Well, I guess we'll start to switch gears. So I will show you this, not my roster, but so this is what I actually do for conquest.
Mm-hmm.
I make a squad page. I say like global feat, sector 1 minor, sector 2 feat, sector 4 feat, and that way when I'm actually playing, I literally just I'm in sector 3 now. Boom, click this team. You did 3 or 4 battles. All right, now click this team, and then that way I don't have to like constantly. Oh, what team was I going to use? And it has saved my bacon so much because I have 2 accounts. So like conquest on 2 accounts, when one's 530 and one is max grading, your brain turns to mush trying to remember what you're using for what feats on what account. It is brutal. So this is great for like planning to red box and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I just beat it as fast as I can, and then I cheese whatever feats with yeah. And that's it, and it's pretty easy. Like right now, I'm just doing the Phoenix kills with Crex, like on the first node to get some extra data cache and datacrons, and then I'm doing the JML cheese with the 2 Qui-Gons and Padawan Obi-Wan and
use Jedi Master Kenobi for that now.
Yeah, and Ezra. Well, it's because they're not higher gear. They're gear 11.
Oh,
so they can
like have a good tank around them.
Yeah, so and then I choose a node where they don't have AoE, so I choose a Mon Mothma node, and then it actually works out well because I get more kills because I can kill Scarif Rebel Pathfinder with Ezra, so I'm farming kills with them, and then when I'm close to finishing, I just like do the
Rebel Fighter kills. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
Not the Rebel Fighter, the Phoenix kills at the end of Conquest.
Oh, okay. So
not
Sector 5.
Yeah, Sector 5. Yeah, so I do it all in Sector 5. So I'm doing Phoenix kills. I'm doing the because there's a global feat for the Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan. Oh no. So that way I can cheese it really with those 3. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm not as fast as you. I only do 50 refreshes.
Yeah, I only do the hundreds to like. I'll stop doing the hundreds now that I'm done, and I'll do 50s for the remainder to get the datacron stuff. And I'll do the full 6 the entire duration when it's a new conquest configuration, because I want to make sure I red box, because there's always going to be like some mini boss feats and some boss feats that are like, oh, can Saw Gerrera survive this? I guess it depends who the boss is going to be. So like I always like blitz through a first configuration, and then if it's a new datacron set, I do 6 the whole time. But if it's like this, I'll do 6 until I finish, and then I'll do 3 for the remainder, unless I like see a need. I'm like, oh crap, I still haven't been able to get this datacron. This set's about to leave. Keep doing some extra till I get it.
Yeah, I would like some more datacrons for this set, but I'm not in a huge
I'll let
need.
You look at my datacrons when you start reviewing.
So we have Jack1Best account now with B Mandalore, the guild that it would have been more embarrassing if you rejected me. Like that would have been hilarious. No, but it
miss ever.
Yeah, but no, it was no. I get it, because I always apply to guilds that are above me. Like I'm like inching, if not just below the requirements, and I'll be like, I shoot my shot. And then I like grow past them usually, but
yeah, and we intentionally keep our requirements like really low for recruiting, and we'll just filter the people that apply, because we don't want to like discourage someone who's like 100k GP from like a really good like recruit for us from not applying.
Yeah, I will say some people are really unrealistic, because if you go in like the recruitment server and you look and you're like, you have requirements that I could get me in a guild that's like 100 to 100 more GP more competitive.
Requiring 9 mil GP is like
yeah. All right, so you have a huge count, very girthy. You got some length in there. So how long have you been playing this?
So
28,000
I
galactic war battles.
downloaded the game 2017.
Hmm.
I didn't consistently play until like mid 2018, but yeah, I downloaded it in
Yeah,
2007.
because you have like 6.5, 7-ish years time played here.
Yeah,
Your galactic war battles. That's a lot.
yeah.
So I'll say
I think
this.
I'm 6.5, 7 sounds about right. Yeah.
So one thing I like admire from players who've been playing for forever is like you guys can like stick to something because I
Oh
played
yeah, we all
in.
have incredibly addictive personalities. That's
Yeah.
ultimately what it comes out as.
Well, because I played like a lot of variety of games, and I haven't. There's some games where like I'll play an MMO or I'll play this, and then I'll never truly hit like that end game because I unless it's like a shooter or something, but because I like quit. Usually the developers do something that pisses me off,
Mhm.
and I'm like, screw these guys. I'm done with
Yeah, if
this.
you're still playing Galaxy Heroes after 7 years, you CG like you bounces straight off your skin at this point.
Yeah, because honestly, when they changed raids, I almost quit. Like I legitimately,
Yeah.
I was
And are you talking CPIT or like crate?
crate, crate. I
Okay.
I almost did, believe it or not, because I finally got to the point where I was getting like good raid income. Like I was
Yeah.
getting like first to fifth in the Sith raid. Like we were doing CPIT. I like was finally gaining momentum with it, and then they kind of bungled the first one they did,
Yeah.
and the pitchforks were out. Like everyone was super pissed off, and I was
We lost a
like,
lot of members.
yeah, and I was like, they're trying to stop us from improving quickly. They're trying to make it to like pay to play, is what I was
Yeah.
thinking. They're trying to take away resources so that it slows down how fast we progress. And that's not what they were doing. They're just like so
Right.
incompetent that it
They're
seemed
really
that
bad at
way.
communicating at the end of
Yeah.
the day. Yeah.
And
I think
so
for us, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
So I think the biggest thing for us, so CPIT, like at the time for us, was up until maybe like 2 or 3 months before they did that was like Merc CPIT. So
Yeah.
I had to like create a Google form, schedule a date and time, confirm attendance from members and hot people. It was like a full on like 25 hour a week job for me just coordinating these
Mhm.
CPIT runs. So like we finally started beating it on our own, and then 2 months later they like, all right, CPIT's dead, and I'm like crying in the corner, like we finally can beat this without help now, and you're killing me.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I like the system a lot more. I've got a ton of opinions on how they should change it. I think like the 6 months new raid does not respect player investment, but
Yeah,
we can talk about that another time. But
yeah,
I've
I
got
think it's
strong
like
opinions on how they should rework the system.
I think it's supposed to be like 7.5 months now or something, but they said 8 or 9, and then they go 7.5, and I was like, you really
Right.
couldn't give us like 2 weeks so that you weren't liars, you know what I mean? Like you couldn't.
Right.
But either way, yeah, I could probably trash CG all day, but all right. So for these accounts, like let's go to the bottom first. It's the easiest way to
All
see.
right.
All right, so I see that you probably are slowly working Night Trooper and Death Trooper because so you probably do the two crystal packs, right?
Correct. The
And
two
then
packs in the marquee. Yep.
yeah, so and I totally get it because we have a lot of time. So you missed the Tuscans wave, right? Like
Correct. Yeah.
you
So
didn't
I
get
was
that.
pushing Jabba
Hmm.
when like Tuscan's route, and I just never have geared them, and they're not super high on my priority list, unfortunately.
Really? And then are you planning on bringing up Lucian? Are you going to do
I
anything
am.
with
I
him?
have all the gear to take him straight to gear 13 day one, and I'm currently chasing gear for. If you go to my Rebel Fighters, I'm chasing gear for Hoth Rebel Scout right now
Yeah, because
because Hoth Rebel Scout and POW are kind of like the core, like TM gain pushing Rebel Fighter members for like a Mon Mothma side of the house.
Mhm.
And Saw, we'll wait and see if he's. I don't have the Zetas and stuff invested in Saw, so like I kind of want to wait. Unless he does like crazy things with Saw, he'll probably stay here 12. But Hot Rebel Scout and POW will be like requirements to be able to use him with Mon Mothma.
I don't. I know you said this right because we talked about this before. As far as
Okay.
I think Saw and Trench don't get the respect they deserve. I know, controversial, right? Controversial, but I think if you have like trench with Y, and you'd probably need a little more relics on them.
Right.
But I think they're good back wall defenses. Like, and because if I, yeah, if I had your account, I would go efficiency. I would probably take probably like 5 of your GLs on offense. And I would put kind of like teams that are, because Saw has pretty good datacrons, right? Like I would try to capitalize on datacrons to put down decent defenses that are like A tier, that kind of get elevated with datacrons to lay that defense. So GLs on offense, and then datacron elevated teams on defense.
Right.
And right now it's kind of hard because it's like the datacrons right now
Are pretty rude.
yeah, they're just a, like a, honestly, there are some good things about them as far as they allow us to kind of theory craft, and they're a theory craft stream.
Level 9 for any of them.
Yeah, as I was about to say, like, what is this? Oh no, this is good. This is. Oh, you couldn't get the good.
This is like fantastic. I just can't get the level 9 I want. Two of them that I've not been able to get the level 9.
Yeah, and unless you're cash spend-ing, then the reroll materials you're kind of.
Yeah, both these are at 80 reroll cost, and I would have to spend loads of money to be able to get good. I do have some support ones too, but that's my attacker one.
Okay, you're robotizing a little bit, so there's a little bit of a.
Appears to be having problems.
Yeah, a little bit of packet drops. Are you still you're not sharing your screen anymore, right?
I am not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not.
For me streaming later.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, no, I hear the only issue with trench on defense is if you want to put Watt, you've just hamstrung C completely. You can only use armor with it now.
Yeah.
That does cause problems when you use them against Jam. Kind of want the health pack and the tank tech.
Yeah, but Jam, is that what you use for the Padmecron? C?
I use them a lot when they don't have the protection disruption. If they have protection disruption, I'm using SLK with the TISF most of the time.
Yeah.
So it would flex. I set a lot of GLs on defense. I set right now. I set Jabba, Leia, JMK, and Rey. So I set half.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to also set Lord Vader if Bo-Katan didn't full auto him, but here we are.
Yeah, I think I would go, because right now we're more of in like an efficiency meta, and I don't know, it like there are, because it shifts, right? And there are some datacrons where if you, back when datacrons were busted, if you put that tank level 6 cron on Leia, she was like,
yep.
And then, and I don't think you're quite there with datacrons, but those at the very, very top, because I don't know if you watch like Zareth, but I watched him play someone and he just got like straight dumpstered in the first round.
Yeah.
And he couldn't,
I couldn't clear one. I fought one that had just stupid stats with that, and my Bane timed out, my Synth Eternal couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't kill her. SLK finally killed her, but it was like solo land cleanup with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren and like TISF Kron and everything. It was just
So right now I've been using Reva. I know a lot of people, you throw her on defense because she's a good defense.
Yeah, I have her on defense to pull Malgus a lot of the time.
Yeah, but I beat Leia with a support cron. I beat Leia with that tank cron. So I do think Inquisitors are a really good counter. And I have a completely different GAC strategy. So I have the James.
I tend to play very defensive.
Yeah, I have a ship's defense, so, and that's why I'm in like the bottom of Kyber 2, because a lot of people just can't beat Leviathan. Like I don't know, like they just can't do it.
My triple GL ships. I set half my GLs. I set Reva. I set Malicos when I remember to put him back on defense. Now I don't need him for Rey anymore, because that's what I was using during the Rey cron. So I was using Malicos on Rey, so I can get him back on defense now to have multiple things to pull Malgus and stuff, and I'll have Gungans on defense now, which I'm excited for. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I would play it just a little differently, but different strategies, because I think it's, to me, I like, well, for one, as a streamer, like I'm streaming live, and I know you're a streamer too, but I would much rather lose a little on efficiency and be able to get like a clean full clear than
you'd rather actually have a like hour and a half stream instead of a 20-minute stream where like, we're stuck on this wall, guys, we're done, that's all we can do today.
And a lot of a lot of
Two
them.
accounts helps balance that out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I get it. I have the one, but a lot of people do it. I don't have anything against it. I'm gonna play the 300 games with your account real quick. So I'm gonna guess where your
My mods
last.
fall off hard.
I'm gonna try to guess where your last 300 character is.
I don't even know where my last 300 character is.
I don't think it's gas. Maybe.
Oh, it's not gas. It's lower than that.
Stop is.
I think he's like 297.
Oh man, you're.
I know, I'm giving you the answer.
Yeah.
I said it.
307. Okay. So, man, 304. Okay. Yeah, you just have like absolute garbage mods on stop.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I literally reliced him like 2 weeks ago.
No, okay. Yeah, not bad.
I have a severe shortage of 6-dot mod materials, unfortunately.
I don't know. You have like good mods overall. But when you're
just once you get past the 300s though, it just falls off a cliff.
yeah, but I'll say this, when you've been playing for as long as you have, because honestly, for the amount of time you have played, probably not the most, like your mods are good, like undeniably they're better than mine, but for those that have played, because how many is in a row? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 4 rows, 32 33, so you have 33 plus 300 characters, which is good, right? Like that's a good amount.
Captain Rex is my pride point. It's overkill. He doesn't need Clone Rex, not like
Clone Rex. Oh, this one.
He's my pride point. I think he's like
333.
So after unique, that's like 398 or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. Good mods.
He doesn't
overall.
need that fast of mods. It's overkill on him, but it just makes me happy.
Yeah. So good mods overall. I'm gonna look at your GL mods.
Okay.
Just to see if my
SLK mods are gonna stir some controversy, I'm sure.
Do you go health?
No, I go offense.
Oh, okay.
Which is not typical.
So my JMK mods are not good. Yeah, your JMK mods are probably in this. Yeah, in the same line as mine. Like not ideal, right? Like protection
it's
primaries.
One of those things where it's like, does it really matter?
Yeah, that's
if it's like 5-6 speed on JMK. It's like,
Well, that's what I felt too. I was like, it doesn't really matter. Your health on Leia is kind of low. She's relic 8. Oh, she's relic 8 too.
My arrow is speed.
Yeah, this is fine. It's just, I think the difference of like this arrow relic 8, because I've seen some ones that are like,
I would love to have a health primary arrow. I just can never get good ones.
Yeah, I get it. This is good. I like a little more tenacity on Jabba. I do.
Yeah. I don't even think I did it on purpose, to be honest. I can send a bunch of my secondaries.
Yeah, because I do like tenacity, because you get those. A lot of his off meta counters require like debuffs. Yeah. Not bad. Good. I do like 550 speed and some potency. Yeah. I like more potency.
My protection arrow is not the best.
Yeah,
I hear that.
Yeah, because I try to aim as close to 100% potency, 550 speed.
Yeah, for the ability blocks.
Yeah, and then 100, because it really is important. I don't know what you're using your JML for, but usually mine is to counter.
Right now, it feels like nothing, to be honest.
Yeah, like to solo Qui-Gon or something. like.
Yeah, most of the time I use them on JMK. Like I'm either using Sith Eternal or JML on JMK.
Yeah.
Right now this Kron set, it's just not a ton I can use it with him, and I don't want to set him on defense because he just gets steamrolled by C.
Yeah, and 5v5, I think I'm gonna use bounty hunters on Lord Vader. I think I will, because
I've got Bo for that now, and it makes me so happy because she's so consistent against Lord Vader. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, well, it's with the protection up Kron, which everyone like puts on him because it's a level 3.
Boba Fett Yi.
Yeah, Boba Fett Yi. Yeah, because in 3v3 you don't get enough dots to really like survive it, but in 5v5 you absolutely can. So
100%, and it's kind of hard to like keep Boba alive without like accidentally also dispelling, because if you have grief, you might accidentally rip off Lord Vader's stuff too. So it's kind of hard.
You just don't use the mass assist, and that's it.
Yeah. There's just less targets, unfortunately. And my Ray's got offense.
I don't like. I personally don't like this. Like if you were gonna go full damage, which this is, what is she, relic 8? So you just don't have any health on her, like almost nothing, and a speeder. I don't like this. To be honest.
hero. I don't blame you for
Yeah,
that one.
because honestly, if you're gonna have 4.59% offense, right? Um,
Yeah.
None of these stats, like protection is negligible, the flat offense. So I'd rather you just fully commit and go with an offense primary here, because her speed isn't like crazy important, right? So if you lost like 10 speed,
that arrow is cheeks.
yeah. So it's not.
We can call it how it is. It's a cheeks arrow. I get it.
But ideal Ray mods are like health primary, fatty offense secondaries. Because I've seen people, especially if you have higher relics, because like all these, if you see, like these aren't like, you can use these somewhere else, but these aren't like super great Ray mods. They're okay. Like this is okay. Like Ray with high.
Ray does not get my main attention.
Yeah.
Like, that mod like makes no sense other than the fact it has offense primary and it's offense.
Yeah.
But like protection, defense, like yeah.
So
Ray is probably my least like focused mod wise GL.
Yeah, so I go for something like this, but where it actually hits offense. Like this is what I'm aiming for. I don't care about these, but I care about percent offense and speed, and I try to hit above like 5% offense at least. Because if you look at the difference of a health primary, no, it's okay. So if you look at a health primary, it has a lot more potential than offense primary, because you can hit up to like.
My wife texted me to ask if I was done, and I didn't respond, and so her solution was open the door and see if I was done.
Yeah, no problem. My wife won't do that, because see the door right there, like it's in the frame of the camera, so she won't.
I can't see your door, but I'll take your word.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, it's in the frame of the camera.
Yeah.
So like, cause my it's like a rectangle, so I like at the small in my office, like if straight down to like my closet and door. All right, so let's.
I'm good,
yeah, I'll cut that out. So with health, with Ray mods. So if you have health primaries, I'm sure you know this, right? Like I'm sure you're a mod connoisseur, but I like it because you have.
Not as much as I should be. But.
So you have a lot more potential of stats, because they're so stat hungry. If you have health percent primary, and then you have secondaries with offense, because the secondary offense with health are. Like it has the potential to be the same as a primary. It won't ever be that, but it has the potential to be like 6-7%. And then if you have that 16% health, it's a lot better than having like 5-6% health. And then just like mathematically, that's how you juice up your Ray, especially if you have Relegate.
Definitely my like worst modded of my GLs, I think.
Yeah, and I think you probably don't care as much because you just throw her on offense. And you're
on defense, yeah.
On defense. So you're just looking for like Yeetus Deletus, right? Like you're just trying to yeet the with as much damage. And I get it. Like her health isn't too crazy important, but I think there's definitely.
I've never minded low health when people are trying to use gas on her as well, because they can accidentally with AOEs sit under that threshold and eat a whirlwind when they don't want to, and that completely re-ends the gas counter.
Yeah.
But realistically, in Kyber 1, how many people are using gas against Ray?
Yeah,
very many.
Yeah, it's all Malicos.
It's one of those where like this is kind of a relic of an older time that I have not like revisited and re-potatoed.
Yeah, well, because Seer Malicos can still lose to Ray if she's like thick and she just like starts deleting people.
Yeah, especially in 3v3, Seer Malicos can struggle a little bit.
Yeah, but the level 6 attacker cron with Starkiller right now, fantastic.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So my SLK is modded different than most people. I think most people have speed.
Well,
I think you mentioned health, right?
You have
offense just for like the pure like max ramping.
You have
but I'm way slower than I want to be.
This is just like you have a grandpa SLKR. You have like this is a relic of an older time, because this is modded well, but it's just modded in a way that was a long time ago of how people modded him, because you mod him for all damage and then he ramps, right? And that people yeah, and then it was Leia was what ushered in the speed SLKR, because it's important to like outspeed them, stun Drogon before he gets put on stuff. Yeah, so I get it. I understand it. And like if he's doing what you need him to do, then it's probably fine. There's a lot of different ways
Yeah.
that you can mod SOKR. Like honestly, I my least favorite is probably the health SOKR where they have all health primaries and
It feels bad for him to hit like a noodle. It really does.
well, and I understand the thought process of like, well, if he survives, it's going to take a little longer, but he's going to ramp his offense. Yeah. But when you have a guy who in ultimate is invulnerable, I think, because believe it or not, I have like a blend, like, cause a kind of a jack of all trades, and mine has actually really high defense. So high defense.
Yeah, I did see you had a defense mod. I didn't
Mhm.
look too much into that, but I did see that you had it.
Yeah, so I have high defense, high speed. So mine's like 580 something. Okay,
Mine's
damn.
really slow.
Yeah, so similar health as yours, a lot less damage, like over 10k damage. But he does everything I need him to do, and he was my first GL, so I modded him that way so I could be everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's an old one. SOK was my first GL, I think.
yeah, you have good speeds on. This is fine. I think you have a speed arrow here. Yeah.
Full health.
So
Yeah,
I would
with the secondary health there.
Yeah, I think I would change this to a health primary.
Yeah, I just can't get good health primary.
Yeah,
arrows
I think you.
secondaries.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that before. What do you do for farming for your mods?
It's bad.
Uh-huh.
I have been farming slicing mats for like 2 months straight
Mm-hmm.
because if you had the ability to check my mods like checkbox here and see all of them,
Uh-huh.
I am unbelievably short on 6-dot mod materials. I've got so many pilots that still need 6-dot mods. I've got
Mhm.
entire teams. Like I don't think my Queen Amidala has 6-dot mods. Like I have so many characters in desperate need of 6-dot mods. So I'm like forever farming 6-dot mods.
Did you It's funny.
You put up yesterday.
No, I did. I did
Okay,
make a video. I did make a video on it. I did my little ramble on about why. Because I talked to someone in my Discord, and it was Baroness, and you're not probably not familiar because I think you're new. Yeah. But there's she's very vocal. But she's in there, and she's just like. We were talking about it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not farming mods right now." And I was like, "What do you mean you're not farming mods?" I was like, "What does that even mean?" And she's just like, "Oh, I'm farming slicing material because for my mod guides." She's like, "I still have mods that don't have potential to be worked." And I'm like, "No, you always continue farming mods. Like you never stop farming mods." And I understand what you're saying. I just don't agree with it. Like I don't agree.
My problem is I'm like capped on mod inventory. And I've got so many like +9, +10 blues that I can't even slice those.
Well, you sell them.
Start using those.
You sell them.
Sell +9, +10.
Yeah, +9. Yeah, because there's gonna be +9s that have lackluster secondaries, right? Because I'm sure if I went through your mods, like if you gave me access to your account, I could clear out at least 200-300 of your mods easily. And that's what I do. Like if I don't need them, I sell them. I go through my arrows. I keep like 4 speed arrows of each ones. Yeah. So I'll work those. I'll see like, okay, what have good stats? I'll sell them. I look at my arrow primaries and then I'm like, okay, which ones are actually good? And there's a lot of them that have like 13, 12 speed or something, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to ever use those, so I'll sell them. I'll look at my blues. I sell all my grays. I sell practically all my greens. I'll look through my blues.
Slice grays.
Well, no, I do.
They have like 2.
No, I'm saying after I've worked my mods. Like after I worked my mods and after I went through my characters and kind of like remodded the bottom. I'm talking
that's my biggest downfall of having 2 accounts is like exactly what you just said. Like I want to, okay, let me sort my mods. Okay, I've got these +9 blues. Surely I can find characters who have slower than this and replace. Mm-hmm. And that is just so unbelievably time consuming.
It is.
Like right now, like I'm doing double conquest, I'm doing double fleet arena, double grand arena. Like it is tough to find the time to do that. But that's exactly what I would love to do.
Yeah, I do it when I'm just watching TV or something. Like I just have like some TV on and I'm just sitting there and I'll just like work through them. I don't have 2 accounts, and that's probably why I don't. Is because when you're working 2 accounts, you're no longer like, because the reason I started playing this game again was because I didn't have time. Like I was going through college.
Right.
I have a full-time job. I don't have time to like go through and work like have play like Call of Duty and get shot in the face by a 12-year-old. I don't have that time anymore. So I'm like, okay, I still want to play video games and I want to like continue to build something. And I remembered this game and I was like, yeah, let me go back into it. And it's that perfect blend of if you have no time, you can still play it, and if you have a lot of time,
Right,
you can really like dive in here and
find it and
Mhm.
go crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why.
Anyway, yes, my mods. I definitely need to be farming more mods. It's just an issue of a backlog that I have not had the strength to go clear out. But that
Yeah.
is like my biggest weak point is as I've grown to this size,
Hmm.
my efficiency of mod farming did not grow with it. So
Yeah.
I'm still like farming mods like a 6-7 mil GP player where it's like, oh, for example, if we use scroll to the bottom of my roster again, like, okay, let's say I've got 40 health squares with +8 speed. I don't even have 40 characters left I could put a square on. Right? Like it's at that point it's like, why do I have it? Because I've not had the strength to go through and like clear it out.
Yeah. Because if you look at your characters, like they have good like they have a good your floor is good, right?
I
Like
mod mall for the raid, by the way. This is not what I use for the raid.
no, I do too. I'm not going to judge you. But what I'm saying is the bottom of your roster, it doesn't have like +3 mods, except for that one.
I have a few 4 and 5.
Yeah, for primers, yeah, I get it. But the floor is good. And that's what I'm saying to tell people, like raise the floor as you're raising the ceiling. And then since your floor is raised, you have to increase your floor with it. So your +9s, sell them. Like you need, because if you build more mods, you get more mods into your account, you're gonna have more opportunities to like hit those, like because I'm sure you have tons of mods that have like plus that sit at purple or whatever that just like +11, +12, +13 that are just like heartbreakers. And you're like, okay, I'm not gonna continue working them, and then you just like you use those.
I have a purple 11. I'm slicing it. I'm taking that baby straight to 17 and praying. Should I? Probably not.
I don't. I leave it, but regardless.
That's why I have no slicing materials. That's exactly why I have no slicing materials.
Yeah, because I'm looking for sustainability, and I clear out the junk, and because you have to. It's like anything, you have to bring in more, because if you think about it, every new mod, like every gold, every purple, has the potential of just being a +25 speed mod, and as you have the income to work like mods, where I don't know how you're getting your +25s or whatever every week, but you have the potential to do what I've done, and every week I build multiple like +20s, +25s, and then I'm doing it consistently, because you just like you clear out the junk and you have to work and have a blend of like slicing material and mods. Because honestly, like my mod inventory is comparable to yours. Like I don't have the 6 dot mods, but I think I have like 22 +300 speed characters, but but my account is more than half that's amount of time played than yours.
Yeah.
And that you do have more.
That's unfortunately just a part of like, also, when I started the game, and that's everybody. Like,
Yeah,
the game, like you didn't know about mods. And, like, how it all works. So it takes a lot of people. If you don't, when I started playing in 2017, at least I'd like to think I wasn't looking up guides, right? Like, and I don't even know if there were really like mod like farming guides. I don't know how the YouTube scene was in like 2017, 18. It wasn't until like 2019 where I really started like, all right, we're gonna do this thing, and like, I think I was in guilds without Discord channels until late 2019 as well. So it did take a hot minute before I started really investing the time in mods. But yeah, those are my biggest weak points with my 12 mil account is like relic levels and mods. Relic levels, I am perpetually broke on signal data. I would love to have like I mentioned with your account, I'd love to have a relic 7 I'd love to have a relic 7 IG. That's one I really need to get on. I need to get my Plo to relic 8 so I can do the relic 8 IGs. For triple attacker, which I don't see often, but do occasionally see. I've got 100 other characters. Like, I've got the Chirotech. I could gear Boba Fett, Sign of Django today for my guild for territory battles, but I don't have the signal data to relic 7 him, so it does us 0 good.
Yeah, I'm in the same.
It's one of those things where I just have no signal data.
Same
I've
boat.
got plenty of relic scrap, just no
Yeah.
signal data.
Yeah, same boat, same boat. I have tons. I have like thousands of bronzium wiring and CCBs. I can make 2 relic 9s right now, 3 relic 8s,
Yeah.
in
I
addition
actually
to
can
that.
as well, but I'm saving that stuff for like
Yeah.
Luthen and things like that.
Yeah, but I have zero, like literally zero signal data, like nothing, like zero. I think.
I have greater than 0, but I have enough to like I could bump one character from like relic 8 to relic 9.
Mhm.
Like I could do that like twice, or I could take like one character to like relic 5 or 6, and then I'm out.
Mhm. Well, I have that's my bottleneck. So I cannot, I can't. Like I'm
Luckily,
like
I don't have any
every.
Cantina farms.
But we're
Just,
yeah, we're
I don't
in
have signal data, so.
totally different parts of the game, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm late your end, so like you look at your account and you're just like what's new, what's coming out, what are you farming?
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at my account and I'm like, how do I balance new to old, and how do I like,
Yep.
but that's
So if you go to like Imperial Remnants, I just literally finished last week relicking my Imperial Remnant faction.
mhm.
So like up until a month ago, I didn't have DTMG relic, didn't have Death Trooper relic,
Yeah, you have
Stormtrooper.
a little baby DTMG here. Like look at
Yeah,
this little guy, little toddler.
I don't want to like take him up higher until we know
Yeah.
what future VIRs are going to land with like Enoch and all that stuff. And like I said, I've got no signal data, so they're all
Yeah.
stuck at relic 3.
Yeah, if
It's
this
crazy that I relic 5 Jedi Council are, but the DTMG is relic 3.
yeah, this is like a 4'3" DTMG right here.
Oh yeah, maybe 4'2" if
Yeah.
really. Maybe if he's got his best still.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where I would leave him, but I feel like
At least 5. Like my typical like baseline is relic 5,
Mhm.
but because I'm relicking right now like one character a week almost, I cannot keep up signal data wise. Because what I'm doing right now, if you go back to my roster again, like and I mentioned like Rebel Fighter stuff, like I am taking characters who are already gear 12, a gear 13 them, and I'm not like bottlenecked by Cairo or anything. So like I'm getting them like one a week. I don't apply the gear until I have it all ready, so like you can't see like pieces there.
so does your
like next week they say, oh, Ahsoka is about to be released and Chief Nebit's required at R7, so I want those pieces like available.
does your guild have like Mandalore and Zepho unlocked?
Nope, we are pushing for Zepho right now. So I'm the biggest in the guild,
Mm-hmm.
for obvious reasons. But we're pushing for Zepho. We have 20 Jedi Knight Cows, and we're going to put out a call soon, hopefully, because we don't require any of that. But like when we say, hey guys, let's do this, people will push it. So it's one of those things where right now we're encouraging people to push the Naboo raid teams because we got, I think we got 15 Jar Jars, and that was kind of it. So like we're still kind of struggling a little bit there. Not a ton of people jumped straight on the Master Obi-Wan Qui-Gon train, so like people are really pushing that. But once we get to a comfortable crate there, we're gonna start pushing towards Zepho. Mandalore is a good ways off. That's so far removed from most people's farming plans, unfortunately. But Zepho's within spitting distance for us, I think, right now.
That's good. My guild, do you know what they're pushing for right now? It would probably shock you. You had to guess. What would you say? Like same guild or same like 460, 470?
Do you already have Zepho? Can I ask that one?
No, we don't have Zepho yet. We're like 20, 21.
Probably pushing Bo-Katan then, right?
Bo-Katan. No, we don't have Zepho yet. No, we're pushing Phoenix.
Oh, you were talking about it on stream. I actually
Phoenix.
Yeah, that makes
like
0 sense to me.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of
I get it, but like
it's one of my biggest complaints. It's like we have we only get the 90 million box for the raid. Where we don't have Zepho, we don't have Mandalore.
That's higher than our
and they're like, I don't care what you're doing, get your Phoenix up and running.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, guys! Like, can we not? Can we like? I was like,
Phoenix are good, but like,
yeah, I was
Mandalore,
this close.
Raid,
Yeah, I was this close to JMK. I had all his Zetas. I had I required like 3 relic 5s or something, and they're relic like 3. And then they were like,
so you have to drop like your. I've never been in a guild required farm, so I'm not sure like how strict. Like, are they not able to be like, hey, let me finish this? It's going to take me 1 month.
It was like an ass chewing because, and I'll tell you why. So we are a TW guild. We're facing like top guilds, like very good. We're not gauntlet good, but we're facing like ridiculous guilds because we keep winning and winning and winning. So we're like we keep getting like harder and harder guilds. So we're facing like full Riva Cron walls, like 50 Rivas.
Yeah, we are too, and it is killing.
Yeah. And so a good way to do that in TW, we're using we can use Malgus. So I could take out 2 Rivas usually. Right. So I'll use Malgus, take out one, and then use Phoenix to take out another one. But not everyone had their Phoenix up and running, and we're having to use like ridiculous counters to and we're struggling through them. And I think that one of the ones we lost was because it was so messy. To like the one where they were like, I don't give an F what you're doing. Like literally, they're like, I don't give a F what you're doing, how close you are to whatever farm you are. Like you're doing this right now. Like, and then they're just like Phoenix, and they're like, nothing matters. Ray doesn't matter. Like I don't care how close you are to a GL. You're getting your Phoenix up like right.
Cron, though, that's I hate to put that one off though.
Well, yeah, and it really pissed me off too because I had everything ready. Like I had Cat. Cat was I had all her Zetas. She was Relic 1. I had Padme up and ready like Gear 12, and then I was pretty much ready. Like I just it was less than a week. I would have had JMK.
I would have left. That's
well, no, I love the guild.
That's why I'm a guild leader, right? Like I can't. And that's why I don't require any farms because I cannot dictate to people how to play and
so
it just kills me.
I love my guild and that's the only time they did it.
Yeah, I don't mean to disparage.
No, it
just doesn't fit my playstyle.
I believe in discipline. I love. I think good soldiers follow. Why. Yeah, good soldiers follow orders, right? So yeah. I immediately stopped my JMK farm. I spent 5 of his 6 Zetas I had saved up for this farm, and then I got my Phoenix ready. So did I want to? No, I didn't. I was pretty pissed. But I still did it because it's a requirement, and then we haven't had that issue. But they don't like losing in TW, and we lost. Yeah. We legitimately lost. Because that Riva wall broke us, and then we did full clear them, but the efficiency of that Riva wall and what we had to put to break it hurt us on everything else. It was a cascading effect. You ever have a GAC where one farm, you drop one battle and it just has this cascading effect. That's what happened that TW.
Yeah, I normally I'll plan my GAC attack with a notepad. And I'm okay, here are my teams. Here's what counter I'm using everywhere. And like I said, I play pretty hard defense. So I can be okay, let me do this battle because this is the riskiest battle. And then I can shift and recover. But then if you lose that and then you lose after the shift, it's well, I'm dead now because I've had 2 counters that were supposed to not work, shifted everything, and now we can't full clear anymore. We have to take a half clear. And yet that same thing can definitely happen in TW. I mean, this is our worst season. When I say season, I mean this data, this orange Datacron has been our worst TW win loss probably ever because we only got maybe half the guild got Padme Cron up, and maybe half of them got Riva Cron, and we just do not have enough counters. We don't have a bunch of Phoenix. We've got a bunch of Malgus, but that's it. And that isn't 100% win rate when they've got 280% armor penetration, and the 8th brother throws a grenade, and your entire team disappears.
Yeah, it's or you go in and they delete Malgus before you can take a turn.
I've been bringing a tank revive actually.
Yeah, but before that, yeah,
times
before the
Oh my god.
Yeah, I would just
even with the bolt cron, it's I started the battle. My Malgus is dead. What now, guys?
Yeah.
People come to Discord. Hey, so do I post this? I killed 5th brother, but the rest of my team got massacred in about 0.2 seconds.
Yeah. So
that's just crazy.
Yeah, but that's why they're just, even though the problem goes away in a month, and that's how I would look at it. I don't, to me, I'm an efficiency guy. I don't care about a GAC. I don't care about TW. I'm with my guild because they legitimately. I haven't found a guild that can keep up with me. I haven't, because when I applied to your guild, believe it or not, I was probably 6 million GP, and now I'm 9.5, and that was July. So I was very small, 5.5, 6 million GP. I grow my account very, very quickly.
July of 20, was it 22? I have to go look.
It was July 2023.
23. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was 1 year or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a year ago that I applied, and I now I'm at 9.5 million. Part of it's like Lightspeed bundles. Other parts is like every day I get first in fleets. I win well in GAC, so I like crystals can accelerate your account.
Right.
And I farm nothing but things that give me like more things. So it's pretty quick that I
So just to give you something else to look at, so I'll get you to pull up my alt account. We won't like go through and do a full review of it, or this would be ages long. But I want you to look at it and let me tell you a story.
Yeah, sure. What's your
Delta ally code 561-544-438. So I have a twin brother.
Oh, I have a twin sister.
Both have. Oh, really?
Yeah, twinning.
Yeah. So I got him into the game. And you can open the account as well.
Yeah.
I got him into the game in December of 2020. So he had been playing for a couple of years, and he decided he wanted to start an alt. So we started these alt accounts, I want to say 2022 December is when we decided to start these alt accounts. Or maybe it was October. It was like end of year 2022.
So you guys
and
like share?
No. So that's what
we
made mirror accounts.
Oh, okay.
So we started them on the same day, the same guild, the exact same farming path, the same relics. I think we have a couple Zetas different, but like the accounts are within like a couple hundred KGP. We're like just crazy similar. And we decided, okay, we're going to rush Sith Eternal. At the time, crystals were still in Squad Arena, so that made sense. Unfortunately, crystals were taken out of Squad Arena 2 weeks after we unlocked Sith Eternal. So that was really painful. But I'll just wanted to let you know that we unlocked Sith Eternal on the exact same day, which is just crazy. Knowing all the RNG for drop rates and everything in this game, that like 2 accounts, same day, same arena shard, alternating spots in Fleet Arena, unlocking their GL on the exact same day, and we've kept like pace ever since. Tons of things I could like nitpick in my account, tons of things I want to do that he doesn't want to do, so we have to like agree on what we're farming, and that's made it really fun.
You guys still mirror each other?
Yep, still 100% mirror. Which is getting difficult because I want to do Jedi Knight Cal, and I think he wants to do Leia. But I'm like, I want Jedi Knight Cal so we can do Zepho for the guild.
He's in your guild?
Yes, so he's an officer in my guild.
Okay, that was my next question. Is he an officer?
Accounts, actually.
He has 3 accounts?
He has 3 accounts, yeah. I have 2, he has 3.
Oh, that's nuts. Is he also an engineer?
He's not. I won't get into his profession because it's super niche. But he's not an engineer.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's been super fun. I just wanted to like mention an anecdote of like, hey, people are always like, I can't keep up because drop rates are bad. Listen, if we can spend a year and wind up in the exact same place, it was like a couple of days from like a year exactly from starting the accounts.
I'll say this: guild income is huge in this game. Like it's like
being in the same guild made it super close.
Yeah. So you guys put the same Zetas, same.
Very close. We've got a couple different Zetas and a couple different Omicrons, but like we have the same relic characters.
So who has better mods?
He does.
He does? Okay. So like
on these accounts, I actually don't know.
Or like who has
his main account has fantastic mods.
Who has the better
I'm higher in GAC.
Okay.
I'm higher in GAC.
Cuz you're like right there with me.
Yeah, so my alt account's really not that far from my main account, to be honest.
Yeah, well you're like very very similar to me GP wise, but you have more stuff.
More GLs, just less of the side stuff. And that's partly because the accounts are free to play with an asterisk. The asterisk is there because we had completely ignored SLK and Ray. Well, I shouldn't say completely. We hadn't touched SLK and Ray, but we both actually had farmed Finalizer to get it unlocked just in case we ever wanted to do SOKR. So we did actually buy the Ray BB-8 bundle and then the Ray LSB. So we were able to get both those GLs. Like I started ticket farming Ray like the day after I bought the BB-8 Lightspeed bundle. Yeah. And I already had most of the ships done for Radis, and so I went like straight from Ray to SLK. I got both of them in like a month and a half. So that's the only money that's been sitting on this account and my brother's. And we had to agree that we were going to spend that money on those purchases. I would love to buy more of them, but
this Droideka, that would be a good Omicron for your guild, right? Even at Gear 12. I don't know if you guys use
like Droideka.
You don't like him for defense?
I don't I don't like it that much. It just dies to Radis in TW.
It can. But
if we had like full 50 of them, maybe.
Well, oh yeah, you don't. I forget that you guys don't. You guys don't
mandate anything. Like if I put out a request, we'll get like 75% of people would probably do it. But
yeah, because I think if you guys asked, like if you asked, like, hey, we want to do better in TW, not mandatory, but like Sidious.
That was a long time ago when I had 400.
Sidious, you're getting my crazy eyes right now.
I know.
You're like Droidical Omicron.
I know. I don't have the Omicrons now. When I applied Sid, I had hundreds.
No, I get it.
That's when they were like super new to the game still. So it was like there were no like I just got like every Omicron that came out.
Well, you can.
It was like, oh, I've got more Omicrons than I can spend.
Yeah, you can.
I don't have that problem.
You can still use them with C or something, right? Like
I toss him with Treya on defense in TW. Actually, is what I'm doing. It probably doesn't do much, but I'd like to think it does something.
I use Treya just to clean up stuff. Like honestly, like we have
an offense on my main, but I set him on defense.
Yeah, on TW.
I'm carrying Nihilus right now. Nihilus is the relic.
Yeah, we have like there's like a third sister to clean up or something. I'll just like I'll just throw Treya at that.
We won't go through the full account. Video would be way too long. But I just want to mention that anecdote of like, hey man, like it's a ton of fun to like do that mirrored account thing, and the fact that we're twins like makes it even crazier that like we have twin accounts. And it's a lot of fun. So
that'd be fun. You guys should like make a podcast or something. Twinning.
I think we argue the whole time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So when I stream, I actually let my guild members join my Discord channel while I'm streaming, so they could chat with me and ask questions while I'm streaming. And I keep that just my guild members.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would probably balloon to like an unreasonable point. So he joins all the time, and it's actually mostly just him complaining about Datacrons to the point where people have asked me to mute him.
Yeah.
Because he just hates Datacrons so much. I don't necessarily blame him, but. Yeah, it's Datacrons are iffy. We could talk an hour about Datacrons. I would love it if they would remove the stats and make it just a 3, 6, and 9. That to me would be like a satisfying fix.
I'll say this: before this set, I would say that they were doing Datacrons because before the set,
before the orange set, they were reasonably balanced.
Well, I would say this. So there was a definitive shift in Datacron opinion, not the set before the what do you call it? The Raycrons?
Darth Bane.
Darth Bane Ray. There was a definitive change in how people looked at Datacrons, at least as far as like before that, the only conversations in the community were like, we hate Datacrons suck, right. I'm not going to farm Datacrons. After Ray, and I think this is why. So with Ray and SOKR being Lightspeed bundles, and having crons that elevated a whole roster, like if you had those crons, you could climb up into like Kyber or push up into Herodium with like absolute. All of a sudden,
you're beating Leia, you're beating JMK with SOK.
Yeah, or like you can throw them on defense, and then all of a sudden your opponent couldn't beat your whole roster. And before you didn't have power like that, so like you could take Ray on offense, or you could put like Ray and SOKR on defense on your front walls, and then all of a sudden you just have to beat a zone to win. And then now I have people on my Discord being like, oh, I hate GAC, this sucks, like I'm losing. They're like, these it's not fair, I'm facing these like hard accounts, and I'm like, brother, you've been posting for the last few months, and I've been telling you like, hey, good job, but you're just know when these dust, you're gonna get absolutely dumpstered, and now you're just happen to be in the dumpster phase, like right. Like
if they're gonna do GL level 9s, I like that it's successful GLs. I wish that they wouldn't do GL level 9s at all.
Oh, really?
Maybe a hot take, because like I think you have reason to put that did help a lot of people there. But the way I see it, Datacrons should be seasonal power for teams that are not already at the pinnacle of power. That when you take a team that's already at the pinnacle like SOK and raise it, it gets kind of absurd.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Right, like I said, my main focus would be let's remove the stat portion. because that reduces the
Well,
gap between the free to play and the pay to play significantly.
well, they will never do
Makes them
that.
more consistent. I know they.
So
Will,
because the stat portion is what gets them all the money from
gets them all the
Datacrons.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at it, like whales don't have problems with like level 3s, level 6s, level 9s.
Right.
They're like, how can I get
It's re-rolling the stats.
yeah, getting those perfect stats, and that's like how they win. Like top 100 and GAC, if you watch those streamers, like they have datacrons that are just like perfectly rolled, ridiculous datacrons that are just like those counters just don't win. Normal counters.
It makes a very frustrating experience, like when I'm fighting in that Kyber 1, like middle Kyber 1 level where I was like a couple months ago, where I was like, oh, I'm going to take my Malgus against this Riva. Well, Riva wouldn't have that Kron at the time, but you get where I'm going. Like, I'm going to take Malgus against Riva. Oh, she has 300% crit damage, and just my entire team just died. It really brings an element of just not fun, at least in my opinion, to it. I hear you. They're never change it. But if I were like being the angel on CG's shoulder, that's what I would do to keep datacrons around. But like, and they could lower the drop rates and stuff too if they did that, because then people like they could tighten the noose on farming them a little bit. But then I don't know. There are ways to address it, but I think in its current state, it's not fun to play against like those crazy accounts, and I don't think the people in that like top 100 enjoy it. I think they're doing it because that's what they have to do. I don't think anyone's like, oh, I'm so excited I got another plus 50% defense roll. Like, it's not a fun part of the grind, unfortunately. The fun part's you just unlock Jedi Cal and you spin around on your roster and you can take him to Relic 9 now because you're a whale.
So I see. I see what they're doing, because they made it more accessible. They gave people a taste, and now they made with these new sets like the floor, the same thing. The floor is really low, but the ceiling is like sky high, and that it's smart. It's smart business practices to get people to at least like engage in them, and then get whales, like milk all the money they can from whales, because there's so much variance in them. But I think it's like smart overall.
I think it's smart for them. I think it's annoying to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yes, I see why they do it. I'll say my last hot take, and then I guess we'll start to wind down because we've already been going on so long. I said I wouldn't talk about the raid change. Really quick, this is what I would do to raids. Raid seasons, featured raid, old raid, featured raid, old raid, featured raid, and you just make the featured raid every other month, and you have an old raid that rotates.
I do wish.
That respects the player investment. It encourages people to invest in Tuskens. Like, if you look at my roster, I have no reason to gear my Tuskens. But if Crate rotated in every few months, I would relic my Tuskens. I have no reason to apply raid Omicrons. I would apply raid Omicrons. Like, to me, that would get more people to invest in those raid teams.
Yeah,
that's my alt account. I was like,
I know I saw your Tuskens. They're like, they're 7 stars, but they're low gear. Like enough to do a galactic challenge to get like a gear box 9 or something.
Exactly how far they are. Yep.
Yeah. So
like that would be my solution to raids that like respects player investment, but still puts a heavy emphasis on the featured raid, so that like it really pushes, because those whale guilds are gonna max it. And they'll still get tons of freaking rewards. They would lose rewards with this for sure. Well, they wouldn't lose rewards, I guess, if they shipped the box. I guess as long as they also whaled on crate, they don't lose any rewards. They just get to mix up what they're playing, and it becomes less monotonous, less like boring to do.
So I agree with you, and I would love to see a rotating, because that's what a lot of other games that are similar to this, they have like rotating, right? Like premium, and it would increase and I say that about Gungans too, because I'm on the fence of like, after I finish Leia, because I'm going for Quadme and the Bros, and then I'm going for Leia, and then I'm like, before this raid finishes, I'm probably going to farm Gungans, not because I think they're worth it or they're fun or whatever, but I don't want them to, because I think it's worth having a faction. Like, I think you should farm every single faction. And
Galactic Challenges has proven that we need Gungans.
And for like conquest, for a lot of reasons, because they have a lot of, like, I think they're going to be conquest relevant for a very, very long time, because they have unique debuffs, they have unique buffs, and they have like they're going to be around. They're going to be around for like years.
They're a good team too. Yeah, that's not as vital, but they're also a really good team.
Yeah, but so are Tusken. Like, Tuskens are a good team. Like, they have they beat a lot of those turn meter mechanic. They have like unique mechanics that are a good team. But if you miss the train, there's no reason to go back.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
kind of like when people talk to me about gun gids, and I'm like, man, I don't. It's like, yes, I want you to do this, and yes, you probably should. It's like, man, if you don't get it for the raid and you pull the raid rewards out of that calculation like equation, it's like, golly, I don't know, man.
yeah, that's how I feel because I'm like, you can skip Gungans, you absolutely I could, but I think I don't want to because I'm like I have them almost shard farmed, and I think I don't want to, not because they're good, but because for that reason, like I think it'll help for conquest. I think it's I would like to have them,
It's
but
like you have to pull the raid math out of it if you haven't already committed to doing them, because by the time you people finish, not us necessarily, but
yeah,
like,
in
by
like
the time
3 months
the
from
general
now,
population finishes farming and gets the Chirotech and the relics on them, and the Jar Jar event actually comes back, which is my biggest gripe about him being this being the featured faction, is that the event should have been permanent or at the least monthly. And this is
it
the
should
first time
yeah,
they've done that where it's not permanent.
it should have
Because
been the
now
Mandalore.
and just like 90, yeah.
Yeah, it should have been. He definitely should have got the Bo-Katan Mandalore treatment, where it's like every month she's been coming out.
Yeah.
But I agree
That would
with
be
you.
reasonable to me. But it's like you could be like, all right, I'm going to push Jar Jar, and be like, oh, well, actually, I'm missing this event. You know, you do the math, like, oh, I'm going to miss this event at this time by like 3 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
too long of a time frame to like really realistically close that gap with like extra crystalling.
Yeah, it should.
And then be like, oh, well, that 90 days, now all of a sudden the raid's going to be gone by the time the event comes back. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in 3 months, right? So I plan on
90 days.
yeah. So I plan on getting him in the next 90 days. But not the biggest deal to me, honestly. It's just something I'm doing because it would be like a nice to have, and I'm just gonna throw them on defense. They'll be an okay team. Not there's other things I would rather have like Bo-Katan Mandalore, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, but I'll farm them just because I know if I don't do it now, I may never do it until like years from now once I'm like fully caught up.
Yeah, and that is a nice thing about like our alt accounts. My brother and I like we're finally hitting a point where we can start to like go visit older things now. Like,
Yeah.
Leia, we want Leia, but it's like at the same time now I'm finally relicked. I've relicked my Sith trio. Well, excluding Scion, because in my opinion Scion is like just not that good anymore. But like relict, Traya, Savage, Nihilus. I would love to relic Dark Trooper at some point, but haven't done that yet. I finally got Iden to relic. Like, he's not like level 1. He's like gear 9.
Yeah. Honestly, with this account, I would probably finish Leia and then go into what do you call it, Ahsoka. Like just because you have all the GL ships, you have
I have all the GL
all
ships,
the
and
all
that's
the
why that's why I'm on the fence about Leia on this account, and why I lean toward Cal is because we just did Leviathan and Lord Vader back to back. So we both have like 0 relic scrap. Like we're both completely like dry on like chromium transistors and bronze and wiring. We need a couple months to like rebuild that to a reasonable stockpile before we can jump into like another relic 7, relic 8 requirement.
So yeah, and honestly, for your guild, since you guys don't have it, like 2 extra Jedi Knight Cal Kestises could be the difference of like pushing people, especially if you're like hey guys, we like our guild leaders were pushing for Zepho, we're farming it on our alts, we're giving like 4 or 5 Zepho ready.
When I'm like I have it on my main and I'm farming it on my alt versus I'm like, hey guys, please do this, and then I don't do it on my own account. So it makes a big difference when the officers are also all pitching in.
It does, because everyone's like, hey, lead from the front, right? Like lead from the front. If you're for that reason, I probably would go Zepho, Leia into like Balin Skulls, Ahsoka, whatever you're planning to do with this. But I would, I probably like talking about it. I probably would like Zepho would be huge for your guild, like absolutely huge, and it's a recruitment tool too. Like you want the best people having at least Zepho unlocked. Like that's like when I'm looking at guilds, because I still look at them, peruse, just I know you're like on the other side of you're always recruiting, right? Like always.
Actually, we've had a queue for about 3 months straight.
Really? Oh, so if I was like, hey, I want to get in, you would curb me again?
Yeah, you would be placed in the line.
Yeah. No, I get it. So Well, good for you, because a lot of people are like, I don't know how it is right now, but
I think part of the
Mhm.
environment we have where like we don't require anything, and I'm
Mhm.
very like clear about kicking people. Like I have a strike system set up that's like super transparent. I do everything I can just be as transparent as humanly possible. Like
Mhm.
if you get kicked, you know exactly why you've been booted, and you've gotten multiple warnings. Like I try to not kick people like as much as possible, unless it's like okay, they're just not participating. I have to kick them at this point. And so we wind up building a little bit of a queue most of the time, and it goes in waves. Like we've lost, God, I think we lost 6 players since the Naboo raid has come out. Of course, we
Yeah.
replaced them all, and I've got one guy in queue right now. But like, it ebbs and flows. Where like, yeah, when like a new piece of content comes out like that always shakes up guild.
Yeah, it
But
does.
like
It
for the
does.
most part, we can go.
Mhm.
We've gone 2-3 months without even losing a player before, just because like the members that have been here a long time they don't want to go anywhere. Like they just don't. They feel at home. They're
That's
not constantly looking for like a new guild.
that's good. That's good. That means you guys, the vibe is right. Like if you don't have a
Right.
revolving door, like because like because there was one time I joined a guild and then like 4 people left, and I'm like,
Yep.
what the f? Like what is this? And it means like honestly, there's something wrong with the guild. Like whether guild leadership, vibe, reward something, participation.
Right.
So that's a huge thing. And I left honestly pretty quickly because I was like, hey, sorry, like the like this isn't the guild that you advertised. You know what I mean? Like you guys
Right.
said you're this, and it's like it's that, and it's not what I was looking for. So sorry, I have to keep it moving. So
Right.
you know,
But yeah, it's still a huge recruitment tool. I mean, like
yeah.
it's not that we never recruit, right?
Hmm.
The people that are in queue for a reason. They've like
Hmm.
messaged me, seen an old ad, or they just like know of me from another guild,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, would you happen to have an opening?" And I'm like, "I can add you to the top of the list and let you know." Like I've had a couple returning players actually come back that were in the guild a year ago. They took like a year off, and they're
Hmm.
like, "Hey, actually, the game looks like it's in a really good place right now. I'd love to come back." And I'm like, "Yeah, let me put you in the queue." So it's been good. It's been good. But yeah, Zepho would be an awesome recruitment tool. We actually just like we're now like consistently getting 30 stars in TB. We weren't before. We had to like redo our TB plan, which was a ton of effort on the officer side of things. But
Hmm.
we're finally consistently getting 30 stars. Our Riva numbers are not great anymore because almost everybody has her, but we still get like 22, 23 Riva, even though everybody already has her. So a lot of people are not remodding; they're
Well,
just going in.
even if you just go in, you should have like a 80% win rate ish,
Yeah,
as long
we
as
probably have around that, but
as
not everyone actually has
Mhm.
Inquisitors because we never
Oh.
like required Inquisitors. So not everyone actually has. So we have people with Riva that don't actually have GI,
Yeah, because we have
which is a heartbreaking thing, but
well,
still.
I got Riva before. I used Riva to unlock GI, but we hit like 46 Riva shards, um, and then I think we have like 30, 33, 34 stars. So they do that's why I said my guild officers are fantastic. Like they're really good at what they do. But yeah, like I get it. Like if you're not focused farming and it's a more relaxed, like, hey, farm what you want. I do
Yeah.
think asking is if you ask, like, people will do what you want.
Oh, I do, and I do all the time. Like I'll
Mhm.
post. Oh god, one of my like strongest memories of that recently. We had like when we were doing this new 30 like star TV plan. We had like a list of operations. Sorry, these are the units we need. We had like 15 units that were like, hey, we need these. We posted it in like my announcements channel. I pinged them like, hey, no requirements, but just if you see one that you can take out in the next few weeks, just at me, let me know you're doing it, and we'll mark it off. We had the entire 15 list claimed that people were doing it or done, like within 24 hours. The entire list was claimed. It's
So
just awesome.
what's up with this R8 Darth Vader? What's going on
That
with
was an
that?
accident. So being an alt account, I
Mhm.
do my dailies like every morning,
Mhm.
and we were doing Executor. So it was like I went to go relegate Piet,
Uh-huh.
and I accidentally clicked on Darth Vader.
Oh no.
And at the time, so these accounts were not in my main accounts guild. They were in
Uh-huh.
like a smaller guild that I still keep. I have a lot of friends there, and I keep tabs with them and everything. But I had to buy the relegate mats with crystals,
Yeah.
and I accidentally relegate Darth Vader at like 5 a.m. before going to work, and I like realized it right after I clicked it. I was like, "Oh crap!"
Oh no.
I was so heartbroken. I will say though, doing the Leviathan counter, relegate Darth Vader hits like a truck.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not recommend Relegate Darth Vader for most people because he doesn't even get used. I'll put him in Lord Vader now, I guess, but
Yeah,
it's just
he's.
like, oh, this is so painful.
So does your brother have a Relegate Darth Vader?
He does not. So I guess I'm saying there are some because like I'm not gonna be like, hey, I accidentally misclicked
Yeah,
this. I need
like,
to go waste 2,000 crystals.
yeah.
So like they're not like they're not 1-to-1. They're like
Uh,
95% match. Because like yeah,
okay.
like I said, I've got a few Zetas he doesn't have. I've got a few Relicades he doesn't have. I think he's got like a Gear 11 Dark Trooper where I've got like a Gear 9 Dark Trooper. But like the Gear 13s are identical. So the Gear 13s are identical, and like the Journey Guide units are identical.
So how did you do CT3 for what is it, Ewoks without did you
I
use
have
like
still
Lord
not.
Vader? Oh, you haven't done it, really?
I'm waiting on it to come back right now, and I'm going to be trying it with Lord Vader because I still
So
haven't taken Dark Trooper up.
so you could do it pretty cheaply. Hold on, let me see. You don't have to because I tell people, but this account is so far gone, right? So but
Yeah.
Colonel Stark, General Veers, Piet, if you gear 12 or where are they at? The Empire. You gear 12. Gar Saxon and what's his counterpart? Yeah, ISC. They can get it done for you. Like
Really?
yeah, Gar Saxon,
I
ISC, Gear 12, with
Under like Imperial Troopers or
yeah, Piet. It's like you use Piet lead.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Veer. I think Veer's Piet. Yeah, range trooper, and then they just like counter everyone to. There's like a certain RNG, but yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. I don't advertise that or tell people to do it because I want them to build Dark Trooper because that gives them like a useful team. And for most players, they're not like you, right? Like this account is like ridiculously and
I'm
is
incredibly
late.
like hyper tall focused.
Yeah, like you
Farm
have
these Journey Guide characters and ignore everything else.
yeah, you should be farming like late game stuff. Dark Trooper is a luxury for you, right? Like it would be nice for you to clean up. You can clean up geos in TB, or I'm sorry, TW, but just getting something super cheap that's pretty much like free for you.
Right.
Gar Saxon,
Basically, yeah.
yeah, Gar Saxon ISC, get them to the 7 stars, Gear 12, and then I think you just have to. There's like certain RNG where you have to hit something, and then pretty much
infinite retries, right? So
yeah, and then you'll pretty much counter everyone to death, and they'll
I think like next on my list after Nihilus of like characters that I need to relic that are like immediately on my list are not Bam, Mando and Grief.
yeah.
This account needs like a consistent Lord Vader counter. Bad.
Well, you can use JML.
Yeah, I'm able to do JML, but I still lose like a reasonable amount of the time, and then I don't have
Really?
a cleanup option that's not Star Killer.
So in threes I've been having trouble with the
Yeah. I'm mostly talking about threes. Sorry. Like,
yeah.
but then like I can't even send in like
Well, you
like my Grief is like Gear 9, so I can't even like clean up a Lord Vader.
yeah, because this is low protection. I get it. Like a Relic 7.
Mods are like off a cliff compared to my main.
It's just the Relic 7, honestly. Like he would be 150k, 140 something k, if you had like the mods here are fine. Like here are perfectly fine, for a Lord Vader counter if he was Relic 9. And I get why it would be, and that's why I tell people like Relic 9 JML is because if you want consistent counters for like JMK, Lord Vader for JML, he needs that boost because it's not only his survivability, it's like the offense of the whole team.
Right, yeah.
And I get it because I don't use bounty hunters.
I mean, you understand how it is, like trying to catch up on stuff. It can be hard to be like, it's either like push this GL or the Grief and Mando, like I've been putting that off for so long. I really just need it because at the very least, like I need a way to clean up a Solo Lord Vader, and I don't have one without Star Killer, and I can't afford to throw Star Killer in a Solo Lord Vader. I can't do it.
Yeah, because I do JML, and if for some reason Lord Vader, usually what happens is if it's a really fast Lord Vader, and then he goes first. Maul gets frenzy, like, and then Lord Vader gets an ult right away. Then I may not have the time to like. I'll clear the ads, but Lord Vader will be like pretty much like ramped by the time he hits like a second ult, and then like he'll start deleting people.
Loses, it's like solo Lord Vader left. It's not like I've gotten clobbered and the whole team's still alive. And then it's like, okay, well now I need to clean up. And unfortunately, like Gear 9 Grief Karga, that's really the biggest of the two for me. Like not having like a cleanse that doesn't die in 5 seconds with Fennec is kind of a problem.
Yeah, because you can. I don't.
Bam in there, but there's only so many cleanses you can get out of Bam.
Yeah, I don't even know if because he's so good because he like. he reduces his what do you call it, his cooldowns by like odd dots, so he's pretty much like every turn he's just like cleanse.
Yeah, he's incredible. And on my main account, of course, I've got him realized, but on the alt, that's one that kept getting kicked down the road, and it's on our list to do like before we go to Jedi Cal. Like right now, we're in a phase of like, let's do some maintenance, let's get a bunch of these teams that we've really ignored this whole time finished before we proceed to the next project.
I hate this so much. Like Zam is honestly, you don't have the good bounty hunters, and then you have this Omicron, and I get it. I'm
still able to make Lord Vader counter work some in 5v5 with Finnick and Zam because the offense is enough to balance it, but like is tough.
Yeah, it's rough.
That's one of those where I was like on the fence about giving. Like I haven't given Imbo his for Jabba. I'm like, this would probably be a better Omicron than Zam.
Yeah, I would have.
WGC is like, God.
But I.
But anyway.
Yeah, I bought the Lightspeed bundles, and that was like, I was like, yes.
I did on my main account.
Yeah, just because.
And that's what I said. Like the only money this account has spent were those Kylo, like the Ray LSB packs they revealed where it was like the BB-8.
Yeah, I get it, 100%.
I would love to, and I have the finances to buy all of them, but my brother's like, I have 3 accounts. I can't like go buy Lightspeed bundles on 3 accounts. I would be paying like a mortgage level of money.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, every time they brought LSBs around, so
yeah, got to balance.
You got to draw the line somewhere.
All right, so
we could probably start to wind things down.
Yeah, I was about to say that's it's almost 2 hours now. So thanks for joining me. This was really fun. This was the first of what did I end up calling this? In between 2 reviews.
In between 2 reviews.
In between 2 reviews. Yeah, so thanks for being my first guest. You want to plug your channel real quick at the end here, and then we'll go ahead.
Yeah, so it's Jack1Best on YouTube and Twitch. My Twitch wasn't named correctly. I just fixed that. And I stream GEC Wednesday nights, Friday nights, and Sunday nights around like 8 p.m. Eastern time, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, so I will link. I'll link your YouTube in the description, and then like just make sure you guys go in there and subscribe to him. I do watch your stuff, so I do like it. Hopefully I do have you turned up on my volume, so hopefully, with your new mic you'll be a little louder. But I hope that
I hope I don't have any problems if my mic has to be at 200% on everyone's end, and I'm max boosted in Windows for people to hear me.
Yeah, well, on PC it's fine, but on a phone it was like a little difficult.
Right.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, thanks for joining me. So take care, everyone. Don't forget, like, subscribe on me and Jack, and then we'll see you next time. Take care.